Yonder is Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a classic tourist town in the Great Smoky Mountains. This is the tremendous view from the Gatlinburg Scenic Overlook, which is right off a side road that bypasses the town. I absolutely love Gatlinburg. There are some fantastic attractions down there, as well as 3 distinct sky lifts onto the surrounding mountains. There goes the Ober-Gatlinburg aerial tram, which is the highest. There's the mighty Gatlinburg Space Needle in the center of town. It has been standing since 1969, and it's tall, but it looks rather small from way up here. As much as I would love to stop, I am just passing by Gatlinburg on this trip, so now I'm going to head through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and onto another classic but lesser known tourist town on the other side of the Newfound Gap Road. It is rather smoky out on this gray winter day. The views in the national park are not as expansive or green as they would usually be throughout much of the year. Here is the Newfound Gap Overlook at an elevation of about 5,000 feet. The state line between Tennessee and North Carolina actually passes straight through this overlook, as does the Appalachian Trail. There's also some great Civilian Conservation Corps stonework. Alright, welcome to Cherokee, North Carolina, home to the eastern band of the Cherokee. Of course, the Cherokee had been forcibly removed from the area in the 1830s, but they purchased this area of land from the federal government in 1870, so the area around this town is a land trust called the Qualla Boundary. It is technically not reservation land. About 12,000 tribal members live around town today. While there are some interesting attractions related to Cherokee heritage here, like the Oconaluftee Indian Village, the Museum of the Cherokee, and a play during the summertime called Unto These Hills, the objective of this visit is to scope out the surviving roadside relics from the town's mid-century tourism heyday. There's the elongated head of Sequoia by the artist Peter Toth. He has wood sculptures like this in every state. That is Sanoki's Mill, a grist mill from the 1970s. Here is an Indian Muffler Man, a 25-foot tall fiberglass sculpture of a solemn and bare-chested Native American straight out of the 1960s. These variants of the Muffler Man possibly predate the more typical white Muffler Man, and some have become rather controversial. Several of these sculptures across the country, including one at Camp Tecumseh in Indiana and another in nearby Asheville, North Carolina, have been taken down in recent years. This Muffler Man has only been at this location in Cherokee since 2021, but he has been in town for a long time and used to have a headdress, which was very unlike what a Cherokee person might wear. That being said, some of the old signs and architecture here in Cherokee definitely incorporate some stereotyping of native peoples from across America. The Wigwam Motel has an incredible neon sign from the early 1950s. However, this is not an official Wigwam Village motel with the teepee-shaped rooms. There was surprisingly never a branch of the chain here in Cherokee, though there is something similar that we'll check out soon. There's also a wigwam gift shop. By the way, the Cherokee never lived in wigwams or teepees. This is phenomenal. A glorious mid-century neon sign for the Pink Motel. This rather pink motel opened in 1953, and its original owner, Lois Queen Farthing, had everything decked out in pink, including the bed sheets so that the local laundry would not mix up their sheets with those of other local motels. Notice that there is a fairy on the sign. That is actually supposed to be Tinkerbell. For legal reasons, they did not call it the Tinkerbell Motel, but the place opened the same year that the Disney film was released, and the original owner's daughter was apparently a big fan of the film and wanted Tinkerbell on the sign. This is one of my favorite signs that I have ever seen. It's a true gem and it's kept up well. Here is the Cherokee Trader, which was also owned by Lois Queen Farthing, who is credited with spearheading Cherokee's tourism development in the 1950s. This fantastic sign for the Cherokee Trader gift shop was installed in 1964. It's definitely worse for wear nowadays. There are some totem poles at the front of the old gift shop. This is Mac's Indian Village on the outskirts of Cherokee. It sports a great but severely deteriorated sign. Now this is not one of the famed Wigwam Village motels. However, Mac's Indian Village actually predates them by several years, as these cabins were constructed in 1934. They are 90 years old. The village has these full-size cabins with 12-foot tall teepee facades for entrances. They are totally unique. Some of the teepee structures are definitely starting to look rough. This place was probably the first motor court on the eastern Cherokee land here in western North Carolina. Some scenes for the 1997 film Digging to China, starring Kevin Bacon, were filmed here at Mac's Indian Village, so Kevin Bacon was here. I am not entirely sure that this is open. There are some cars parked here, but everything online says this place is closed down permanently. This is the Warrior Motel, with its towering vintage sign alongside a lonesome road in Bryson City, North Carolina. The Warrior Motel opened around 1960 with this 30-foot tall neon sign, featuring a Native American warrior waving his tomahawk. Notice with the lighting it used to look like he would swing his tomahawk. I bet this looked great back in the day when it was all lit up. Today, the Warrior Motel is most definitely closed, and it appears to be filled with junk. That is magnificent. I hope this sign as well as the others we have seen today can be preserved. I have now pulled off on the side of a road near Dillsboro, North Carolina, to take a peek at an authentically preserved movie set. It is difficult to see, but down there by the river is the bus and train that wrecked in The Fugitive. In the 1993 film, Harrison Ford's character was being transported on a prison bus on this road when all hell broke loose and the bus fell down this ditch and landed on the railroad tracks. So Harrison Ford had to make a daring escape while saving an injured officer. They did not use any CGI while filming that scene, so they actually crashed that train into the bus. And there are these screen-used vehicles left just like that after filming the crash 30 years ago, which is pretty amazing. That is the bus, or at least a bus used in The Fugitive. It looks to be in pretty good shape, so I do not believe that was the one hit by the train. That is the detached locomotive that Harrison Ford narrowly avoided. This crash cost $1 million to film, but they made the decision not just for the added realism, but because it was actually cheaper than using models. Harrison Ford was actually injured performing dangerous stunts here. He tore some ligaments in his leg. They continued filming the rest of the movie with his authentic limp. Unfortunately, I do not believe there is a legal way to get down there and explore the set up close, so I'm not gonna try it. I have located a set of Coffin Daffer crosses in Sylva, North Carolina. This is a particularly scenic set right in front of some abandoned trailers. These crosses were placed by the Reverend Bernard Coffin Daffer of West Virginia, who after surviving 2 heart surgeries, sold his businesses and set out on a God-given quest, with nearly $3 million handy, to place about 1,800 sets of these crosses across America. When driving in the American South or even elsewhere, keep an eye out for these Coffin Daffer crosses. Here is the Carolina Motel near Franklin, another classic mid-century motel with a sleepy moon for a mascot. Apparently it is still in operation, but it's roped off right now. I am now heading through historic Franklin, North Carolina, the gem capital of the world. The town celebrates its rare gems and minerals with several gem painting attractions, as well as the Ruby City Museum and a Scottish Tartans Museum, so this place merits future investigation. I am going to grab lunch here in Franklin at the Gazebo Creekside Cafe, a little cafe located inside an old gazebo. The interior of this early 20th century gazebo is really neat. This is a nice reuse of the antique structure. My sandwich was good. There's also a fish in here. I would definitely recommend stopping by the Gazebo Creekside Cafe if you're in the area. So I hope you enjoyed exploring the roadside history of Western North Carolina. The remaining vintage signage and relics in Cherokee are amazing, and I hope the various signs can be preserved for the future. I am now on my way to Stone Mountain, Georgia, so you can check out my video on that as well as all sorts of other roadside attractions, historic sites, museums, national parks, and more across the United States and Europe. Also, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching!